Hello, I'm Stacy. I'm founded Loving My Veteran in July of 2020. I had no idea at the time the impact it would have. I was with a veteran who had PTSD, and our lives, well, let's just say they were less than perfect. I had no real support. I went looking for help, and it wasn't available. And it was because of him and speaking to him and his openness and honesty that allowed me to create Loving My Veteran. I realized quickly you had to see things from both perspectives. I realized that I wasn't going to have to listen to everybody else who said, they're broken, run, he's worthless, throw him away. It was not an option. So in July of 2020, Loving My Veteran was formed. And the impact, well, let the words speak for themselves. Prior to Loving My Veteran, I had joined many other support groups looking for that help. I was literally at the end of my rope. I had no support. I had no one who showed us how to love a veteran with PTSD. I didn't have the answers, and I went desperately looking. When you searched and searched the internet, I came up empty handed. There was so much information on what to expect from them, but nothing that told me how I was to act, how I was going to cope. And to be honest, how I was to blame for some of the things too. It wasn't until I went desperately searching and found no answers that Loving My Veteran was formed. It was done to fill the gaps that we found by the hundreds of support groups that were desperately needed. Loving a combat veteran with PTSD makes things a little difficult. It's not like I could run to my family and my friends and talk about what was going on in my life. They didn't understand the outburst of anger sometimes, or the isolation. They didn't see things from my perspective. They didn't live in our home. And the stereotype is that veterans, especially those with PTSD, are going to like cut you up and eat you. It's what society kind of sees them as. And that's not the way they really were. I had to be able to talk to people who understood, people who got it, people who felt what I had felt. That's why we did formed Loving My Veteran. That's why it exists. It existed as a means of support and understanding where people no longer judged. They just embraced us, loved us, supported us, and guided us through it. Loving My Veterans' mission is to provide resources and support and good education that empowers veterans and their families to build healthier, happier relationships. We provide videos, classes, retreats, special meetings, group support. We have an online support group. All of this is provided free of charge to help our veterans and our veteran community so we no longer become a statistic, so we can feel empowered, so we can control our lives, so we're no longer feeling helpless, hopeless, or thrown away. Loving My Veteran works to help reduce the stigma, the statistics, and the numbers associated with veterans and PTSD. 22 veterans a day are taking their own lives. The homeless population is over 60,000 veterans a night sleeping on the street, some abandoning their families because they feel that it's better for them. The divorce rate among veterans is 65%. When you take the veterans of the Iraq and Gulf War and Afghanistan, that number goes to 78%. 78% of veteran families are torn apart. Loving My Veteran is working to reduce those statistics, to make a better world for our veterans and our families. It is time we give to those who have given so much. Please consider donating to Loving My Veteran today so that you too can make a difference.